I'm Eileen Nash. Join me every week as we meet interesting people who will teach you new, creative ways to manage stress and embrace vitality in your life. Grab a cup of tea and join me for this adventure. Today on Restore Your Caring Soul, my friend Mary Landor shares her perspective on the end-of-life journey. I'm here with Mary Landor, my special guest, and her family from the Palace of the Soul. And I'm here to talk with Mary about a special journey that she's on. And she's nearing the end of her embodiment here on Earth. And she's been a friend of mine, and she is a friend of mine, and she's just been an amazing trooper and just a wonderful confidant through time. And I just wanted to talk with you about your journey. You're a cosmic cowgirl. She is comic relief, also known as. And how are you today, Mary?
I'm very well today, thanks. It's a good day. The sun's out. We're in San Francisco, California.
Yes.
Where I really love to be with part of my family. And so I think that since this story really has to do in a major way with the body, I'll start with a little experience I had some 30 years ago or so. When I was riding by myself, I was driving early in the morning on the Long Island Expressway into New York, and all of a sudden, I heard this voice in my head which said to me, "My body's my friend." And this was an incredible revelation, although I must say that my mother was a very good example of caring for your body, because back in the 1930s she was having a Swedish massage person come monthly or bi-weekly. So that's a good place for me to start to tell my little story today. And that made such an impression on me, that voice that I heard in my head, that I really, from then on, I paid a great deal of attention to caring for my body, which I urge all of us to do, and especially, well, all of the time. But as you get older, you need to do it more and more. And one of the things that I do is I actually talk to my body frequently.
Oh, tell us how you do that.
Well, I consider my body is not separate from my spirit or my soul or my emotions. It's all of a piece. Mm-hmm. So, well, if I'm in the bathtub and my leg hurts, I say, well, what's wrong? What's going on? What do you need? Or especially when I had my right hip replaced several years ago, I talked to it a lot, because it was really hard for my left hip, because I had my right hip replaced. It was very hard for my left hip that had to do so much more work.
Right.
And so we had lots of conversations. And the whole idea was to try and, I think, attune to what your body needs and what it's telling you. And I don't think that we do that in our Western culture very much. Mm-hmm. And sometimes not at all. And we treat our bodies as a machine.
Yes. So how did you tune into the message and know that that was the answer when your hip would tell you things? Was it a feeling or just a knowing?
With me, it's sort of a feeling. Mm-hmm. For instance, my memory for words is not very good, but my memory for feelings is really good. Mm-hmm. It always, with me, comes through that. And as far as the present situation is concerned, which is a leukemia, I'm doing the same thing in a way with my body. I'm talking to it. I'm listening to it.
You painted your process too when you got your diagnosis.
True. That's true. I did. I think that also one of the things that's helped me a lot, and I go back to the whole idea of I think we need to work, all of us, in considering all of us a piece and not separate parts. And not just physical, not just spiritual, not just emotional, but the whole thing belongs together. And a couple of the things that have really helped me a great deal in this are the two Buddhist practices of loving kindness and mindfulness. And that, I think, expands into all areas of life. Well, right now I'm actually having a good time because my grandson here and Nick and Freddie, my daughter's boyfriend, partner, and friend also for me, have made a pine box for me that I can take off when I'm departing this planet. And not only that, but many friends and family are coming to paint. It's a very joyful box, and there's no particular program. Everybody does what he or she wants on the box.
Right.
So when I take off, and I'll go into that in a second, the box is going to soar up in a great flame, like a phoenix.
How did you feel how did it come about that your family made the decision to build the casket and paint it?
Oh yes, well I'm glad you asked me that, I mean, because it's very important. It came about because, as many of you may know, what was it, 3 years ago, when Sue, the real founder, one of the major founders of the Cosmic Cowgirls, died, they built a box and painted it and anointed her body, and so this was their way of honoring her.
Yes, Sue
Sellers. And so we decided that we would do the same thing.
I love that.
And so, not that this is everybody's choice, but at least it gives perhaps people the idea that there are choices that they can make for themselves, and that I've been so lucky, though, that I've had such good care, family, friends, medical also. I mean, incredible. I'm full of gratefulness, and I can't emphasize that enough, because not everybody has that privilege and that opportunity. And I'm so happy to be able to share this. And this is thanks to Eileen.
Well, this is a very powerful process, and I think that it creates a container for the entire family, because it's a very special process for these two men to have created your container by hand,
exactly.
Building it the whole time, thinking of their love for you and preparing it, and everyone getting ready and thinking about what symbol or what do I want to put in that would hold Mary, and possibly, I'm not a part of the family, but I wanted to put something that would also...
Well, yes, you are. Sort of.
Well, thank you. That would be comforting to the family. Because we've come and we were painting downstairs with Sophia, and Trish was painting an owl, and the owl, we were thinking that would look really good against a background, a dark background, and Sophia said, I don't want it to be dark for Grandma. And so there's a beautiful blue background on it.
Yes.
So it's a safe container, I think, in a loving way to honor you and your wisdom.
It's very amazing to me, because I had no idea that this was ever going to happen. I suppose I perhaps didn't, like most people. You know, I really wasn't considering what my end was going to be like. But this time, maybe it's a blessing to have the leukemia, which has given me time to contemplate this and really help with my friends and family figure out how I want it to end insofar as I can.
Mm-hmm.
And then to free other people to be able to feel that they can do the same
Yes.
according to what they want. That's the most important thing.
I think that there's, in general, in many cultures, quite a bit of fear around the fact that 100% of us are going to pass along, and we're not going to make it out, alive from Earth, but that we can come up with ways of working through it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's incredible to have some time to settle,
To be able to do that.
and talk with each of your grandchildren, your children, over this time period.
Thanks to you, I've been reading this series of novels, very entertaining novels on shape-shifting. And so I've decided, that I have to, that's where I got the idea of becoming a shapeshifter.
I like that because the energy will be there. It
Sure.
just won't be in the same platform, so to speak.
I think that creating the box as the spaceship, as we're calling it, with sacred intention, we're changing the perspective on death and shape-shifting, as looking at it as if this is a great adventure. It's a mystery, but it's a great creative adventure that she's embarking upon, and really expressing that with the symbols and the painting and using the intentional creativity is a source of great comfort to us as family members. We can walk away from the fear and find a way of connecting with her and her experience and being part of that. And I think that that's a huge shift.
Well, and for me, also, to add to that from my point of view, a lot of the fear is taking away with this idea of actually shape-shifting. And if you think about it, when you leave your body, isn't it shape-shifting? It is, of course it is. Where have we been all these years? Not realizing this.
Mm-hmm.
Only the shamans and Native Americans and other people in the same sort of civilizations, early parts of civilizations, have been smarter than we have in this way.
Yes. Well, as a nurse, and I worked in the ICU, and I was around many people who had passed over, and there's a distinct difference that suddenly they're not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got to be the soul. I totally believe that the energy goes somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're painting your coordinates.
Mm-hmm.
Have you done any of the painting on it?
I haven't. I was thinking I would do something, but I don't know what I'll do. Yeah, sure. There's still room.
There is still room.
Yeah, no. The idea of shape-shifting is very fun for me.
And you are comic relief, so.
Oh yes, and there's one. There are many lovely paintings on the box, and you'll see this one. There's one of Snoopy as comic relief on one end of the box.
Yes.
So perhaps you want to now go see the box.
Yes, well, I just want to thank you for just being present with us on your journey. And I love you, Mary.
Oh, well, thank you, Eileen. I feel actually privileged that I've been able to share it with everybody. It's fun. I mean, I have my bad days. I don't want to deny that. But it is a new adventure, if one can put it in that context. And it's a continuous adventure. It doesn't really stop. That's why I like the symbol of the spiral, from continuous, from birth through so-called death, and continuing. So, see you there.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Welcome to Restore Your Caring Soul, and we're here with Empress Mary's magical spaceship. This is a special story about actually death and dying, and this is a beautiful spaceship that's been created, hand created by the family. And Trish O'Malley is here. She's a visionary artist, and Elizabeth Gibbons, owner of the Palace of the Soul, and they're going to tell us about this journey. So thank you for both for being on the show. And Trish, could you lead us into like a discussion about the use of ritual and intentional creativity?
Elizabeth asked me yesterday about the connection between ritual and intentional creativity, and what I think, if we think about it, we all know is that throughout human history, when people create ceremonies and rituals, especially for life passages and transformation, we often are cultivating and creating beauty, and we're expressing blessings and love. And that means we have intention, and we're expressing creativity. And all the rituals that happen, no matter what your background is, culturally or spiritually or religiously, no matter where you are on the globe or in history, we all experience life as a journey. So these are ways that we help to integrate that experience of transformation. And this box is the vessel for Mary's transformative journey from leaving her body and going back to spirit realm. However that works for you to language it, what we are trying to co-create here, and I feel really blessed to be a part of it, is a way to really love and honor and to hold together the possibility that this is a gift to Mary, and a way we express love and blessings, and also a way we can support ourselves as we stop having this person that we really, really love and have attachment to among us in a body. So I think that's what we've been doing always across all cultures. And with intentional creativity and our community, we love to paint. So in the United States, there's now more people coming back in contact with the death and dying aspect after a long period of being really separated from it, where basically, because we have come to become fragmented as families and stuff, we live far apart, and often people end up in homes and care facilities, and then when the actual passing happens, then there's a whole industry that comes and takes care of it all, and it goes away from us. And this is about creating a conscious way to keep it for ourselves and to really stay in contact, which helps in the grief and the gratitude. And I think it also helps the person who is transforming to feel a part of.
And this, when they go to ancient burial sites, they often they'll find the bones, and they'll be surrounded by art objects, jewelry, items that they used to eat with, or their knife. And I feel this is a modern day embodiment of that.
And it's like we're sending her off on this great cosmic journey into the unknown with all these blessings of love and beauty and all of our expressions of spirit, of how precious she is to us and how much she means to us. And then we are creating scenes from her life and symbols that remind us of her, and setting intention for Blissful Liftoff. Here's the butterfly transforming. There's the red bird painted by her friend Nancy to symbolize the ecstatic journey. Flowers painted by Kate and connected by the red thread, which is part of our tradition. And then the mermaids going through the purple river, because she loved to swim and she loved mermaids. And on this side, an image of the Queen Mary painted by her son David, because we used to take trips on cruise ships when we were younger with our family, and we went on the Queen Mary, and that was a wonderful, wonderful memories. And her grandson Will has signed his name over here with "Love Forever" in a cloud, and Marley, her granddaughter, has painted a scene at the beach where my mom used to have a house at the beach where our whole family would gather. And we have on this side, Linda Weir has painted a dear, dear friend, Comic Relief, her name, and Snoopy sleeping on a butterfly. And on this side, Fast Freddy and I have painted a spiral and a scene of this beautiful sunset over the ocean with a dolphin and an angel lifting off from the grass and the mountains. And then over here we have a beautiful blessing from Maggie Oman Shannon.
Can you read that?
Yes. Wave after wave after wave after wave, endless blessings and bliss before you. So much love and appreciation for you. And we also have Deborah Tash painted these spirits and added another phrase here, spirits of the unknown guide you home. And Eileen painted this beautiful swirling blue and green movements and transformation, and a face appeared inside of that, and she's part of the mystery. And we have on this end over here, Sophia, her granddaughter, painted a bronze wave and wrote on it what our family mantra has been throughout this whole journey with Mary. And our mantra has been, all is well, all will be well, somehow. And we also have a couple on the inside here. There's an owl here that Trish O'Malley is painting, and that is one of Mary's spirit animals. And then over here there's an Egyptian scene painted by Elaine Chencher.
One is the Venus of Willendor.
Okay.
And the Ankh is a symbol of, I believe, everlasting life.
Maxine, Mary's granddaughter, has painted some magical, very whimsical hummingbirds, and her friends have added some imaginary birds and some real birds, and we have a whale over here spouting hearts. It's just been an amazing, amazing, beautiful experience to be able to express our love for my mom with this, and I feel so comforted that this is where she will be in here and surrounded with all this beauty and love and intention and creativity when she lifts off into her great cosmic adventure. And we just love coming down here and painting and adding more and more magic and more beauty, and having this opportunity to reflect and to really savor our love for her and our memories that we've created together over this lifetime. It's just been absolutely incredible, and it's a very special way to honor a loved one who's dying. And I think it also helps us open up the conversation about what it means, like what the death and dying means, and what are our feelings about it, and bringing that up in a way that is held in this sacred container of creativity is really incredible. It makes it so precious, and even though there's the grief and pain, the preciousness just weaves in with that, and it's an incredible, it's like a very, very rich experience to create this and honor my mother's passage in this way.
Now, Trish, you have you had specific specifications for making this.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little about that?
Well, there's different public health concerns about how a body's handled, and that can have to do with the safety of the decomposition and stuff. So Mary is choosing to be burned. So in the state of California, there are regulations for how that can be done, and a plain pine box is one of the ways it can be done. So there are specifications and directions for building just a simple pine box. You can also use a very thick cardboard that you can purchase, and then when they come to take her for that part of her transformative journey, you can have that whole vessel taken with, and that meets the specifications.
Right, so when the cremation process begins, she will still be cradled in this
Yes.
sarcophagus type.
And we did check with the funeral home about using paint, and they said it was safe and okay to use acrylic paint, so that's what we're using on it.
Right. And where can people find these kind of specifications should someone want to explore this journey?
There's a number of conscious death and dying people in the United States, but it depends on where you are. And one place you start is if you go ahead and pre-plan what you want to have happen, or your loved ones want to have happen, then you can go ahead and set up who you're going to use for that service. And part of how you may choose is how they would honor your way of transporting and holding it. You want somebody that's going to respect that this is what this person wants. And they know all the local regulations for things. It's very different, and it's different country to country.
Right.
So I can't answer for everybody. I can easily, through my website, you can contact me and I can get you the specifications in California for the pine box and how to build it, or even a couple of people who will do it for you. That's the best I can do. It's different everywhere.
Thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth, for sharing this really intense, creative journey.
Thank you, Eileen, for the invitation to do so. I think it's so important for all of us to.
Meet Anna Mott and Violet, a beautiful quarter horse. These two beings do amazing work together. Find out about equine gestalt methods in the next episode of Restore Your Caring Soul.